Good evening. It's the Friday night, Valentine's Day, Wall Street Weekly Wrap-Up with your host, John Newquist. February 14th, 2025. And a little bit shorter show, thankfully. We did cut out a lot of stocks, but let's take a look at what we had this week. We'll start out with all the portfolio, our next-gen portfolio, 4%. Good. It's up. Remember, 2% a month is really good. That'd be a 24% return. Which, you remember, we're always trying to get at least 8-10%. So we're almost halfway there for the 8% goal. And we went up a little bit today, which I was surprised, because, it was mostly a red market across the board. And, of course, as of yesterday, it was at 3.1, so that's how we get to 4.03. And, the Dow is actually ahead of us. We're just a little bit above the S&P 500. I got a snack pack in it. It's just great. It's just because a lot of the other sectors are doing well, and we're in it. We're growing. It's good. But there are other people, like I said, oh my God, this Tesla's been going down like a rock, and we're not going to talk about Tesla other than just what I just said. Nasdaq's lagging behind. And if I do the Franklin Templeton China Fund, you can see this has been taken off. And the tariffs are not so bad. They're not getting hit with it. 10% is nothing for China. But it's interesting. You had this at 17, and now starting to come up quite a bit. And a couple, like I said, I think they got a ton of holdings. 10 cents number one, Baidu. Beyond Your Wildest Dreams are autonomous cars in there. So, it's just like a nice fund to have. And I think it's going to do well over time. The indicators, the 2-year notes, 4.6. Remember, it was 4.5, so it's actually pretty good. Crude oil hit around 70. I don't know, my gas went up, but the gasoline prices went up, but didn't get a break. Natural gas, man, it's strong, 3.7. A lot of people think it's going to go 5. I think it's going to be bad. It's cold winter. It's been a cold February, cold December, cold January, but I have a feeling it'll settle down. Gold, almost got to 3,000, but it's been retracting a couple days. And silver, $32. Look at copper. That is a great sign. Anytime over 450 is a great sign for copper. So definitely an area that's going good. And if I show up the coffee, oh my God, I've got a lot of coffee. I hate to say I got Keurig, but man, you go to the store, $5 for a cup of coffee with, cream and everything else, and man, it's up. This is high. And everyone said, oh, it'll come down. When? When? Look at this. This has been a nice slope upward for a long time. And there's a point where, people will go like I did, get the Keurig out, fire it up, and, 70 cents a cup instead of $5. How can you not take that kind of a savings? So, Arrowhead, again, I look at it. It's got a lot of good things. So, when revenues fall on a pharmaceutical bio stock, I'm not worried about it. It's a research stock. So, a lot of money coming in up to 2028. So we got 3 good years at it, plus this year. Kind of flat around. It's kind of looking around. Phase C trial for, hypertriglycemia.
This is a reminder. Talk about Bitcoin.
Oh, because everyone has to talk about Bitcoin.
This is a reminder. Talk about Bitcoin.
Oh, I didn't check it today. Alexa, what is the price of Bitcoin?
1 Bitcoin is worth $97,630
97.
US.
So, everything is,
over the last 24 hours.
Bitcoin is going to be, kind of volatile. It's good. You got to remember, we're in up 30-40% in it, so it's been great for us. And, like I said, we've made money twice before, so how far it will go? I think it's going to break over 120 this year, easily. But who knows? It's a digital currency. I'll tell you, like I said, I talked to the Wolf, and the Wolf, he's all about more crypto. No. We need to buy some more Cardano, but take a look at it. We'll see. Coca-Cola, compared to Pepsi, which was flat, Coke going up 6.4. You can tell people like it. This thing just jumped, and it's coming up almost to the 52-week high, and it's got good product and good areas. It's not You know, like I said, doesn't have the $7 bag of Doritos and stuff. So the volume's growing 2%, so it shouldn't be jumping up that much. But I like that for, you know, consumer staples 6.4. That's solid. Good dividend, everything else. Ryder came out with earnings. Our transportation stock 5.5 for transportation. That's solid because a lot of transportation companies don't even make money. So solid earnings. You know, people always get excited about the miss, and I just look at what happened. You know, don't look about what people talked about, what they thought it should be, because they're not beating the market. We just got to look at the numbers. Are you doing good or not? Transportation 5, I'll take. And then Novo Nordisk, Journal of American Medical Society, Medical Association, JAMA. Once weekly semaglutide lowers alcohol consumption. I can tell you that's what's happening with it. The people are drinking less. So, you know, I watched, you know, Jim just absolutely get sick to the stomach why alcohol's going down in one of his stocks, and he sold half of it, and it's just been a horrible run. And that's why Sam Adams, I remember $1,200 now to $400. I mean, I don't want to touch the alcohol stocks because the people are drinking less. And what are they using? They're smoking more. So, you know, somebody's going to do a study. Do they smoke more with Ozempic or not? We don't know. NVIDIA, okay. They come out in a portfolio performance. They got rid of SoundCloud. That was a big deal. And that stock just tanked. I just couldn't pull the trigger on SoundCloud. I was trying to figure out how NVIDIA is going to make money on SoundCloud and then all these other ones. But WeRide, a Chinese company, got the ex-Baidu. Baidu scientists left, started WeRide. You can see when they bought it, that stock jumped. Look at this. Boom. NVIDIA's in it? Well, autonomous driving. They could have bought into Baidu. You know, what they're doing is they're playing with it. They want to be able to get better than Google and Baidu, and why not go after the guy that started a lot of Baidu stuff and pretty good. So we'll see, though. You know, I mean, you know, everybody wants to do it. Remember, Baidu and Google with Waymo are out there right now. Those are the two leaders right now. So we're picking the leaders. You know, yeah, maybe they'll come up, but we might position into it. It's right now. It's a big jump on faith, not results. Faith. And then we go into Nebius, a Dutch company or Holland company, I think. AI infrastructure. They're one of the few public ones that are doing it, and obviously I can see NVIDIA wanting to have a stake in seeing what makes it better for infrastructure, and you know, we're going through it. So, you know, this is, if you're going to buy a company, I would think this is the one to maybe look at it. I got to do some more research on it and see how good the revenues grow. So, I mean, they were talking, oh yeah, we're going to get $1 billion this year, and okay, that's some money. I mean, it's not a little change. It's not like, oh yeah, we got, you know, 500 million or something. That's some decent money when you crack $1 billion revenue. But you can see it was a higher stock, and it kind of dropped and dropped. So I had a feeling that this earnings in October was kind of like a bad earning. So we'll take a look. We'll see. There's no hurry to buy another stock. So Meta up a record 20. I don't even remember the last time I saw stock. I remember Rel and Copen, a couple other stocks back in the 2000s going up 10 days in a row. But I don't remember any stock going up 20 days in a row. And, you know, that's a pretty big jump. And it's not huge leaps and bounds. But, you know, remember, we go back, 2020? We bought Meta at 95. We're almost 7 times. Or we are 7 times. You know, that's a pretty good jump, you know. And that was, I remember, because it was Zuckerberg was saying, hey, we got a lot of fat in the company, and, you know, and we're not growing the revenues as fast as we want. And people just dumped it. I mean, this is I'm thinking, this company makes $1 billion a year. $1 billion! Wow. And it's profitable. Why would they dump it like that? They're just treating it like a dog that, you know, didn't make any earnings. And I think, okay, that's why we bought it. And 7 times up, that's pretty good. Taiwan Semiconductor talked to the Trump administration, and they talked about maybe you can take a stake in Intel, i.e. give Intel a lifeline so it doesn't go bankrupt. It's going to strengthen semiconductor manufacturing, and they're going to have a good, strong U.S. presence, which is what they want, you know. So, I mean, good uptrend. This is a solid, nice chart. A little bit higher than I'd like, but it's solid. And so, again, Taiwan Semiconductor, one of our core portfolios: NVIDIA, Taiwan Semiconductor, and ARM. And then, of course, NVIDIA reduced the position in ARM, but that's not surprising because ARM has just been hot. And then the 30-year mortgage, I look at it. I don't watch it too much. I watch the 2-year because short-term loan rates, but 6.7, it's pretty high. You can see it's pretty expensive to rent a mortgage. So guess what? Housing sales, all our home builders, is getting hurt by that. It wants to say something, but I don't know what it wants. Okay, well, we'll skip. Airbnb, it's got good numbers. Beat by 15 cents, beat on revenues, but the revenues are rising 11%. This is not the hot company it was 5-6 years ago. So it's starting in the middle, and when you start getting like the hotels, 6-7%.
This is a reminder.
Not much difference.
Explain why semiconductors have been flat.
Oh yeah, I know. Everybody wants.
This is a reminder. Explain why semiconductors have been flat.
Well, if you're not NVIDIA, you shoot up like a rocket, you consolidate sideways since, July, that's going to happen. That's what it has to do. It has to get through it, get people in it. The people get bored with it, they dump it, So I just look at it, you got to look at long term. Is NVIDIA sold out in 2025? Yes. You can just say Google, Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon are all buying 60 billion plus or so of NVIDIA Grace Hopper chips. We are seeing, not the Grace Hopper, the Blackwell chip. We are seeing amazing things with this Grace Hopper that came out almost 3 years ago. Amazing things. It's getting better with the same chips. Now we're going to have a better one. It's going to be, 90 times faster or something? What could we get? Well, we're going to get a lot of stuff. We could be picking up the data, talking to you, analyzing what you want to do. That's the next generation. Everybody realizes it. So I think we're just going to wait, and then it's going to be like a Meta, and it's going to start to go up fast, and people wait for a pullback that never comes. So Vertiv, does the I call it the cooling in these data centers. I've been to it. I've seen the work. I watch the revenues because this is monstrous. For a company that's putting in these systems, obviously it's doing well at 25% growth. That's monstrous. It's better than the Airbnb. I'm going to go over these things. Just remember, if it's in the 20s, that's a rare company pretty well. We got NVIDIA, but we don't have a lot of companies above 20%. That's why we watch it. So express confidence, the CEO, digital demand, everything. So, did the earnings like it? No. They wasn't a big deal. This thing came up and then it's went down. But this is what we look at. It's solid. If we have some kind of like earning warning saying we don't expect revenues in the fourth quarter to be, that good, then that's a different issue. But no, it's solid. Demand is good, solid growth. Growth is going to be good. Stick with Vertiv. And Palo Alto Networks, they talk like this thing is the best thing in the world. Revenues are up 14%. It's, security stock, had a little collapse with the, back in the couple times and comes back. But, it's a solid trend line. It's just that I think there's going to be consolidation in the security stocks because, there's going to be easy to merge with the new administration. And I can't help but see, we get 2 or 3 of these security companies merging in together and becoming like a big 3 instead of like a big 10, So I would not touch this sector. I like this sector, but I think we're going to consolidate for a while. And in the next 2-3 years, you're going to see a couple of these go down. And who wins? I don't know. They're all good in a way. Coinbase, oh my God, look at this thing. This is like a wedge of a heck. We don't know which way this is going to break, but overall channel indicates it should break upwards out of the wedge. And, look at the earnings and revenues. Wow. And of course, crypto doesn't hurt when it jumps from 60 to 109,000. So, its little fees are high. I think they got to cut the fees down, but they're making money. And, like I said, revenue's doing well. Subscriptions are doing well. They're very conscious about not getting these, what I call these meme coins on there that are really horrible. you know, because those are the stocks that jump up 1,000% and drop down 900%, and you're just like stuck with the bag because you were the last person to buy. So that's been pretty good. Of course, you know, there's no excitement by the time it makes, you know, Coinbase, but you know, it's got. I see the day where, you know, Coinbase has a credit card and you pay with it, comes right out of your account. You don't need a wallet, you don't need anything. You just do it, and the fee is like nothing, nothing. You know, beat Visa and Mastercard. That's the future if they can figure that out. DraftKings, you know, I mean, I you know use DraftKings and FanDuel and an off-site one, and revenues are flat. You know, 13%. You know, they can't make money. I don't know what the heck is going on. Oh, you know, we're buying a lot of stuff, but you know, everything is good except they should be making money. I mean, I know they're doing it, but I think there's something wrong in the company when they continually always lose money, and I just don't want to touch a company like that. Of course, people like that earnings. Man, look at that big, huge jump up here. I mean, that's a big jump, and people liked it, and you know, I understand it, but so we could keep on looking for it. I know, but I want to make money. I don't want to buy a company that's blowing the money fast as they can, because you know, I don't get to see the details of all the losses. I got to look at the report, get the 10Q out, but that's not really the whole story. Something else is wrong. John Deere, man, I tell you, I like John Deere. Automated global guidance mowing. Plan your thing, scope it out, and the machine runs 24/7. Tractor, combine, no people, autonomous. That's going to be John Deere. Just, geez, look at the revenue drop, though. That's scary. And you know, they were from the items, but I mean, they you know, they make money, but you know, it's just be nice if it could be a little bit more steady on the revenue side. So you're going to get some choppiness. I mean, that's it. You know, and the one thing is, like, it seemed to always kind of go up during earnings, and then you know, whatever reason they pay, you know, the dividend pretty regularly. I just, you know, I'm kind of mixed. I don't like the revenue drop. I want to see it stabilize more. And then of course OpenAI said, you know, I mean, I always listen to what Sam says because you know they're leading the thing. I would give Chat GPT 4 just a slight advantage over Gemini Advance, not much, but then everybody else is another tier lower. And he says, oh, we're going to do chain of thought models on GPT-5. It's going to include O3. You know, won't be offered as a standalone model. Blah blah blah. But what it is chain of thought is it's going to be able to do reasoning instead of just spit out data. You know, like, well, how many husbands does Marilyn Monroe have? And pop it out and give you the answer. But you know, it'll be able to analyze, you know, things in the future. And I've you know kind of made a test of 5 different types of areas that chain of thought should have to be able to do, and most of them are right now pretty good. I mean, Perplexity, Claude, you know, Gemini Advance, Meta, and ChatGPT, pretty good. But all of them have this counterintuitive reasoning problem.
This is a reminder. The Russian-Ukraine war.
Oh.
This is a reminder. The Russian-Ukraine war.
You know what it is? I know Trump and Elon want the rare earth metals that Ukraine have. They would love to do a $500 billion deal. It's early. Ukraine declined the first draft. They wanted 50% of the stake in all that stuff, and I don't know how much it was. But, you know, the idea is that it'd be easier to deal with Ukraine than possibly Putin. You know, what they're scared about is China's jacked up the rare earth metals, and if Russia and China partner together, they can kind of really make it miserable for all the tech companies, you know, including Tesla and the semiconductors and everything else. So they're really hoping it, because I think, you know, out of the, you know, 50 strategic metals, Ukraine's got at least 22, including some they really need, and that's why the negotiation seems to be pretty harsh on Russia, to the point where, you know, Vice President Vance said we might have to send peacekeeping troops, which, you know, I think people fell off the chair when he said that. But I understand, because you're trying to sit there and secure the future of your production of these rare earth metals, and if you can maybe take over the Donbass and take it from Russia, who invaded Donbass, and then give it to Ukraine, which should rightfully own it, then you could probably make a deal with Ukraine on it. So that's a big deal. And that's, you know, it's just a linear chess game looking down the road, because we may not be friends with China or doing a lot of trading. You know, we got a 10%. They did some retaliation, but, you know, they're really worried about, you know, will this, you know, be a long-term price increase, which then you'd have to buy for these manufacturers, and if it's so high, then you're going to be, really hurt. But let's talk about this counterintuitive reasoning. I've got like 10 questions I give them to them, but here's an example of one of the questions that I've made. Water tank holds 1,200 liters. It loses 10% of the water every hour, and then the pump fills a rate of 100 liters per hour. How many hours will it take to fill the tank if it starts empty? So, all right, fills the tank at 100 liters at the first hour, and then drops 90 during that thing. And then eventually it'll get to a point you think, well, it'll go to 1,200 liters. No, because it's starting to pour out a lot more than it's in there. So, long story short, it'll get to 1,000 gallons, and that's equilibrium. And it'll take 40 hours if you do a decay calculation with exponentials, blah, blah, blah. That's the number in there. You could iterate it out, 46 hours, you get the same number, but that's how long it would take. And that's what they have a hard time reading, because it's requiring you to think of several steps at one time, and that's where all of them fail. So some of them easy ones, like I give them stuff, like abstract reason, they do pretty good. So people, and this is just with a Grace Hopper chip, so that's why I tell people, wait till we get something that can sit there and pop out 91 times faster calculations, start to intuitively reason all these different things and aggregate how people have solved problems before in physics, math, everything. And that's going to be a big indicator. I just look at it, if I just do OpenAI, this is a private company, non-profit, what the valuation is. Look at this thing. This thing is huge. It's like a rocket. And is it worth that much money? 300 billion? Well, I think it's close. It's hard to say that it's worth more than all the airlines, especially when you see something like DeepSeek. I said, no, DeepSeek's at a tier below. It gives you simple answers. It can't do any of these harder questions. And again, it would rely on the Blackwell chips, which are not supposed to be going over to China. But I just learned, if you got billions of dollars, somebody buys the chips over in a legal country like Taiwan or Japan, maybe you give them 50,000 of the Blackwell chips for a small fortune. Could happen. And again, Robinhood, the young like it. I mean, I hear Schwab talking, oh yeah, we got a good percentage of it, but I don't see the new people going to Schwab. I mean, I got some of them I know that are going to it, but a lot of people like Robinhood because they can put $100, $200 a month, and they can buy a tenth of NVIDIA. They can go out and buy crypto, and for them it's kind of nice. You just got it. You can buy a whole range of it. You can buy $3 of Meta, things like that. And that's something people aren't used to. It's like, why would you buy it? Well, because they don't have money, but it's a way for them to start, and they like it. They watch it every day. So Robinhood's picking up on it, and the subscribers are up, and deposits are up, and revenues. Man, I know a lot of this is crypto, but I look at the model here. Now, of course, it jumped on earnings, and it might be past the ability to get to it again, but, it's doing well. Now, what we want to see is when crypto does crash, like if, say, it gets up to 180 and crashes back to 100, let's see if Robinhood does the same. Because, will people be wiped out? I just see a new generation investing interesting in the Robinhood method. And, if I'm Schwab, you got to start adopting it. You got to start letting people buy $2 of a NVIDIA or something, because it adds up over time, over 40 years. Cardano, we just bought some when it got crazy low down over here, and it went up. Grayscale's still going to eat F. They're talking, okay, Ethereum's going to come out. It's going to be wide open. They're putting these ETFs, everything. We got a little Cardano, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin. And I think they could be like 1,000 ETFs based on crypto. It could get that crazy because they're all watching BlackRock just do a fortune in Bitcoin. And they all kind of like, I want a piece of this. And now they're all going to start doing it. So I do think crypto is going to be, well, if you stick to like the top 10 biggest tokens, because they're going to be in these ETFs. They got to buy them, remember? So that's going to be a supply. McDonald's flat earnings. Boy, 0.3 drop. I don't think, what I think they're missing is that, it's just hamburgers and it's chicken and it's fish on, some seasons, a McRib once in a while. We got to do something a little bit different if I'm a McDonald's CEO. I mean, I do miss the salads. I mean, oh yeah, well, we want to try to cut it down, but you know, you know, these beef prices are going up, and you know, it's hitting McDonald's, and I think there's something missing. So the people like the earnings, you know. I mean, it jumped up, and you know, I thought it was flat. I mean, you know, if it went down around here, $30, $40 less, I wouldn't be surprised. So tough stock to own right now, you know, and I would pass. Inspire, you know, I just look. Anytime you jump 20% like these, they got the medical centers with, you know, intelligent surgery and stuff like that, and I mean, they're doing well. But you know, look at this. We only want 20%. That means there are people will probably be like, oh, it's supposed to, you know, do everything. No, it beat on revenue. It guided revenue above consensus. I mean, everything I think is good. They should be jumping up way up here. One of the stocks we're going to watch, you know, because I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it in person. I just kind of seen videos of it. Be kind of nice to get to talk to somebody to use it, see if it's got good points, bad points, you know, or is it? Because you know, hype is all it's perfect, but that's not real life. Energy, the ETF IYE, or you can get XLE, either one of them, flat across the board. Exxon, Conoco, and Southwest we own, and pretty flat. Everybody's not sure what's going to happen. Drill, baby, drill doesn't happen in 1 year. It takes years to build a refinery and do all the stuff. Today he wiped out the 485 provision. You have to be within, you know, you can drill closer to shore, basically. Okay, that's fine. It's just that it's not going to put a brand new, you know, deep sea platform in, you know, 1 year. It's going to take a while, and of course, you know, these energy companies have been through. Yes, you can do it. No, you can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't. And they're reluctant to really start to do a lot. So, you know, they maybe do one, but you're not going to see a bunch of them because, you know, the election in 4 years might change the whole ballgame again. ExxonMobil, good PE, good dividend, kind of flat. Like, you know, it's been in the 70, 75 range for a while for gasoline. They're making money when it's at 40. Remember that. That's a lot of money. And then one day somebody says, hey, that's a good stock. Look at the money. You know, buy back stock. Dividend goes up. Better than a bond. Conoco Fizzle finally got the Marathon acquisition settled. It's kind of lower down here, but, you know, it's, again, it's all based on the oil types. Our gas should be stronger, and it is, but I mean, I kind of thought Southwest would be a little higher because we are doing high gas volume. Good dividend, again, all the energy companies pay good. So, you know, we're a little overinvested in energy, and it's not so bad. I mean, it's a good stabilizer for the portfolio. And of course, the heat map, you know, NVIDIA up 6.9, Apple, which we don't know, up 7%. But, you know, look at Meta's up, Walmart's up. Lilly, one of our big stocks, down 3%. Tesla, we don't own. Microsoft flat, Google, Amazon flat, ExxonMobil flat. You know, so, you know, an uneven week. You know, like I said, it's, you know, we're up, we're good. You know, we just got to wait through some of the things. Everybody said, well, just wait till NVIDIA comes out in March. Well, that's a ways away, you know, so we could kind of go sideways for a few months, and then we'll see what NVIDIA says, and then it might just take off everything. So we'll see. Hopefully we don't have any kind of surprises from other stuff. Otherwise, have a good weekend. Stay warm. It was like -3 this morning, and let's hope it gets a little warmer because, you know, I mean, you know, like other people, we don't want to see any more of this. This has been brutal. Talk to you later. Have a good day, and I'll see you next week.